Hey, good morning. Good morning. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I'm working with technology. And good morning, good evening. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you're listening from. Welcome to Swahili Sunday. I was doing some technology stuff that we've created for the show, and I had the preview going, the countdown here on the StreamYard, but I had forgotten to go live to let that happen. So I really have to laugh at myself when I do silly things like that. That's what happens when you're running all the tech yourself. But good morning. I'm here coming from the home studio, and I wanted to share a little bit today. I was doing some research. I'm doing writing the script for a voiceover that's going to be done for a presentation going off to some organizations for a big project we have going. And I wanted to do a little research. I have a slide that tells about Kenya and about how Kenya, but for many who are listening that don't know, Kenya is a very industrious nation. There's a lot of industry there. There's a major port there. The city of Nairobi is bigger than the city of Los Angeles by almost 500,000 people. They have a major port in Mombasa on the coast. Kenya's in the middle of Africa on the east side, on the east coastline. So there's a long coastline. There's a lot of tourism there. The tourist industry is $1 billion a year industry, not only for the coast, but also the Masai Mara area, which is where you can go on safari. And there's other places you can go on safari, but most people that have heard of safaris in Kenya have probably heard of the Masai Mara. I've been there once. It's beautiful, 450 square miles of wide open spaces with animals roaming free with the way they're meant to be. And you can ride around in a van and see them. And we saw like lions and giraffes and zebra and elephants and all types of things that we saw when I was in Kenya. So Kenya is a very industrious nation. And when I was working on this presentation, I was thinking of something else interesting to add. And I thought I would share that with you guys here today, because in the US, we have this issue with using plastic bags. I don't know if you know that Kenya has a very strict single-use plastic bag ban. In 2017, they enacted this ban to actually clear out the landfills of plastic bags. And, we have that problem. And I think there's a statistic that says that there's more plastic in the ocean than fish. So Kenya has come up with is environmentally friendly. They do a lot of recycling too. Actually, about the paper beads, and I'm not even wearing any this morning. Paper beads are made of recycled paper and magazines. They use recycled tires to put the soles on the shoes, on the sandals that they make. So they reuse a lot of things and recycle a lot of things. And they have this ban on plastic bags. I mean, it's a serious ban. It's up to 4 years in prison for a single violation, and up to $40,000 fine. I don't know about you. I can't afford a $40,000 fine. I can't imagine that a Kenyan could afford a $40,000 fine based on their median income. So I want to show, that I know I have a lot of people from Kenya that listen, so I want to show you all, and I'm sure here in the US I'm preaching to the choir, about our single-use plastic bags. So these are single-use plastic bags. We still have them in a lot of stores where I actually reuse them. Oh, this one's torn. I usually reuse them for trash or something. But they end up, where do they go? They end up going in the landfill. And I don't have the statistics because I just started looking this up, but I'm sure the statistics about how many of these are in the landfill are huge and significant. So what did some stores do? Some stores decided that they would get smart and go to reusable plastic bags. This is a reusable plastic bag from a store. I'm not going to show which store because a lot of stores do it. What's the difference? It's just a little heavier than this. And maybe some people are good at reusing these. Maybe they take them back to the store and reuse them. But from what people tell me, they start to stink and smell. The same thing for the other carry bags that people take in that are made of some type of plastic or whatever. So what happens? A thicker plastic bag ends up in the landfill. What sense does that make? In America, we have a lot more people than they do in Kenya, so our landfills are filled continuously with plastic bags. And then you think about, okay, there's these. These would be good to get rid of because a lot of people have pets and they make plastic bags to pick up the poop for the pets because we have to pick up the poop. So actually, there's a neighbor. I don't think they use single-use plastic bags. They use one of these and fill it with poop or one of these. I've seen them. And then they, I guess, throw it away when it gets full, which is, that's interesting. But what's the point of that? I don't understand how this is supposed to do something better than this. It's still a plastic bag. Actually, this is a thicker plastic bag, and it just ends up back in the landfill. And then what happens? Our landfills are still filled with plastic bags. We could definitely, here in the US, take a lesson from Kenya. I'm going to show you some of the bags. I love these bags. They have cloth bags, and they're various sizes. Here's a little one. I like to use these for things. These actually, we use them a lot to put product in, to carry product around. If I had a lot, I mean, I use recyclable paper bags for customers to get things that they purchase, to take things that they purchase. But if I had a lot of these, I would probably use them. This is a, yes, they are very strict, Shanta, on, and it is good. I wish that we would. Yes, definitely. Because if you show up with plastic bags and you walk around town in Kenya holding like, oh, I'm just going to take a few things in a bag and I'm going to go out around town, you could be arrested and fined up to $40,000 and bringing them in. I sometimes use like a plastic to seal some of the products I bring. Some of the, I haven't gotten in trouble for that, but I guess I could. But it's single-use plastic bags. So you can't walk around town in Kenya. If you were in Nairobi walking around and you wanted to use this as your shopping bag, don't do it. Do not do it. You'll get fined. Yeah, that's a good thing to inform people that are traveling to Kenya. Because some people will be like, oh, I'm just going to go. And actually the first time, I didn't know about that. The first time I went to Kenya, nobody told me. And there wasn't anything that I found on the State Department website. It might be there now, but when I went, there wasn't anything on the State Department website that talked about don't bring plastic bags into Kenya. They were more talking about different things, other things. So this is one kind of, it's a small bag. There's larger bags. I have all different sizes here. Larger bags. I still have a lot of these. This is from Ketchia's, which is one of the stores there. So you can get a bag from them. And there's a small fee, just like we charge for bags here. It's a small fee. Then there's these other bags. And I think I don't know what these are made out of. They're made out of some kind of paper that's then sealed. I love these bags. Oh my gosh, these things are so sturdy. They come in different sizes too. I love these. I use a lot of these for products. But these are the bags that they use in Kenya. You won't find a single-use plastic bag anywhere, and they are very recyclable, reusable. They reuse things often. You'll find people that'll reuse these things until they fall apart, and they're very sturdy. They're made out of a cloth, but they're very sturdy. They're not going to come apart. I've carried a lot of things. You go to the grocery store and get some things, and then you can reuse them for other things. They come in all different sizes. Here's a really big one. It's a good size, depending on what size you need, and it's sturdy. Like this would hold a lot of stuff. You get some flour and some sugar and things. It'll hold well in there. Or again, you can get one like this. And I actually also saw in Kenya a few. Yeah, yes, Art Center. They are very strong and they last a long time. I think I brought some of these back in 2018, and very few of them have torn, and I use, like I said, I use them for carrying product to shows, and I use them for storing product in the warehouse, and sometimes I may take some bags and use them to bag up product to give to people depending on what show I'm going to. I actually need to pull these out and do that with these, because this is a great way to reduce plastic. If we did something like this in the US, first of all, if we created a manufacturing facility that manufactured these and did this here, I'm sure there's probably one. I haven't even looked at this because I just started uh, researching a little bit. I mean, I knew about the plastic bag ban, but I don't know all the statistics of what we have in the US. But just imagine if we switched from these two things, and that because we get charged for these. So we get charged for these. Yes, I'd love to visit Ghana one day. I have to see if God calls us that direction. We actually are working with somebody with some beads in Ghana. I love your beads there. They're beautiful. So if we could get rid of these and replace them with these, first of all, this would be a job creation thing. And like I said, I haven't researched. There may be somebody already makes something like this here in the US. And then we would reduce the landfill significantly of plastic bags. I mean, I think that was the intent of going to this, but this to me doesn't make any sense. Why replace one plastic bag with another if you're attempting to cut down on plastic usage? Because these are a lot thicker than the single-use bags, and these are meant to be multiple use. But I don't know about you, I don't use these as multi-use. And when there's one store that I go to, when I get bags, I get paper bags, and then I use those paper bags for my trash. I actually use them for recycling, but I'm actually working on getting away from plastic bags in my trash as well, because we line our trash cans with trash bags too that are made of plastic. So there's another whole round of plastic. And in Kenya, they don't have that. They wash out the trash can, and they throw out the trash and wash out the trash can. So if we did something like that here in the US with as many people as we have, one thing, if we did one thing to completely eliminate single-use plastic bags. I mean, they've tried to do things like actually have those paper straws. I don't know if you've ever attempted to drink something out of a paper straw. Yeah, within 2 seconds, it's soggy. It's awful. Doesn't work. I actually have a reusable straw that I can take, but I actually opt to not use a straw, because I've seen people. I have a friend who sometimes goes down to the beach and picks up straws, and she has a whole handful of them that have just washed up ashore. So there's other people are attempting to do that with the straws and with biodegradable type of to-go containers, because a lot of our to-go containers are made of styrofoam, and they end up they're not biodegradable. But if you have the ones made out of paper, a heavy cardboard, like a heavier cardboard kind of, you've probably seen them, to-go container for food. Those are biodegradable, and those will break down and won't fill up the landfill like a styrofoam one or a plastic one will, because there are some plastic ones as well. So there are people who are attempting to do that, but I think if we simply went from plastic bags to these type of cloth bags all across the US and banned single-use plastic bags, just like Kenya does, that would greatly reduce the amount of plastics in our landfill. But the same thing with trash bags. What do you do there then? You have to come up with a different solution for that as well, to make that better too. So that's what I wanted to share today. I'd love to hear your comments about that, because it's strict. I don't know if any other countries have that kind of a strict type of thing, but they're taking a step to do more ecologically friendly type of things. Sometimes you can walk anywhere in the US and you see plastic bags just out somewhere where there's trash, you'll always see plastic bags laying around, and people just throw them. And it it's something that they attempted to address with these, but I don't think this solves the problem, because almost everybody I talk to uses these to put their trash in. They don't reuse them to go back to the store. And what do? They go back to the store and they buy a couple more bags to put their groceries in. I like to go to stores that give you the option to have paper bags. Some stores only have paper bags, and I'd rather use a paper bag than a plastic bag, because it's friendlier on the environment. If we each do something to take a step in that direction, maybe it'll reduce the things in the landfill, but I don't think it'll happen until there's a stricter policy. Actually thought when California had said that they were doing something towards single-use plastic bags, that they were going to go away, but I still like the bag I just showed you. I forget what store I got that at. So there are still stores that give you single-use plastic bags. And if I were a store owner, I would consider replacing them with these. Obviously, these may cost a little bit more, but it's friendlier on the environment, and people actually do reuse these. These are great. And then these, like I said, I love these bags. And this isn't, I don't know how these are made. It's some kind of woven something or other. I have to do a little research on that, but it's not plastic. But it is a very strong bag. It looks like some kind of paper that's then sealed with something. Maybe I'll have to ask Layla about that. If you're listening, if you're still listening, tell me about these. You know how much I love these, Layla. And it's like these are the greatest invention on the planet. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share about today. I will remind everybody, school for the kids in Kenya is still ongoing. I really appreciate all those who continue to make monthly donations. If you'd like to be a monthly donation partner, I'd love to have you go to basketsofbeadskenya.org. You can do as little as $1 or $5 a month. Actually, $1 would do transport for well, no, it wouldn't do transport for a kid. A dollar would go towards transport for a kid. We have a couple kids that are boarded way out from where their home is, and they need to be transported back and forth every time that school lets out and then school starts again. And they're getting ready to go on break on Monday. That was about $20, I guess, $15, $20 for two kids to come back. And so even a dollar will go towards something like that, or go towards buying a bar of soap, or buying a loaf of bread, or buying a ream of paper, or something like that, because we always have to support those type of things in addition to the school fees. So I have been presenting and talking about the average cost of a kid going to school is about $1,000 a year. It's really expensive, especially when the median income for a Kenyan is about $287 a month. And you do the math. If you have a whole lot of kids, how are you going to put them all in school and give them the opportunity to get educated? Education's the key, especially to get out of poverty, because you have the opportunity to go do whatever gifts that you've been given by God to do. So any amount, $1, $5, you can do one-time donation. It's all tax deductible. We are a 501c3 nonprofit for the things that we do for the foundation work, like the school fees and school supplies and all that. And some of the, like when we provide food packs and medical care and things like that, and some of the projects we're doing, that's all going through the nonprofit. And then we have an NGO, registered NGO in Kenya now, and we're moving things along, and we want to be able to educate more children. The funds we have helps us educate 6 kids, but we want to educate more children, and the more we can educate, the more opportunities they'll have. Most of our kids want to be engineers, doctors, nurses. They want to do something to give back to people. I've talked here often about Aloys. He is a kid that we've been working with since not too long after I went to Kenya the first time. And He's in school. He's in sophomore year of high school, and he's very interested in engineering. And actually, the principal of his school told us out of all the kids there, there's very few that they think will go on to college, and he thinks that Alois is one that will definitely go on to college. And Alois told me when I was there that he wants to go to college, and then he also wants to give back to help other kids on the street get off the street and get into school and get educated. So that's a great goal. He's already thinking about giving back and changing lives, and that's what it's all about. So your little donation that you could give could help another kid get to that uh, place where they can be educated and that they can live out their goals and dreams. And who knows, like he's got an engineer's mind. Who knows what he'll do? My friend Gina, she was with me at a presentation I did this past week, and she said, this kid could be the next, this kid or one of these kids that gets educated could be the next Nobel Peace Prize winner. You never know. You never know what opportunity, when somebody has the ability to get educated and use their skills, what they might become and what they might do in the world. And that's what we're all about. And it's a hand up, not a handout. Once these kids actually get out of school, that they will hopefully be productive members of society and do something, go get some type of employment, or maybe they'll start a business, and that'll be great. Then they can give back to their children as well. And it's something that can pass on generation to generation. So we're working on making generational change. That's why we say a hand up, not a handout. We have given a few microloans, and it is a loan. They have to be paid back. So we're keeping track of that and making sure that the people that get the loans are accountable for their business development and accountable to our group, because the group meets regularly. And the same thing with our ladies. We actually supported them all through COVID, and I always give food packs when I go. But as I'm working here on this side, they're working there on that side. And if you don't want to work, you can't be part of the group, which there's a lot of women in Kipsongo that could be part of the group, but they don't want to meet regularly, or they don't want to work, or I don't know what the thing is. Maybe I don't know, but we do know that there are some that like, oh yeah, I don't want to work. I don't want to do that. I'll go do this over here. So it's a choice. Everybody has the opportunity, if they choose to be part of the group and learn some skills. We're teaching them leadership and how to operate in community, and how to manage their finances, so they don't, when they get money, blow it all, and they don't have anything to pay for their kids' school fees or support themselves. We're teaching them about table banking, because most of them don't have IDs and birth certificates and such, and they can't really get a bank account type of thing. It's a challenge for that, but we're working hard, and we would appreciate your support. So if you feel inclined to support our kids, basketsandbeadskenya.org, you can specifically select education fund, and that money will go towards helping pay the school fees, the school supplies, the uniforms for these kids, and hopefully more. We have 6 kids that are in high school, and we'd love to put more in school. High school is where it gets really expensive. It seems like parents are able to get them to high school. Some may not. But once they get to high school, the fees go up so much that many parents just can't do it. And then then what happens is teen pregnancy. Young girls end up on the streets, and they end up pregnant. The boys end up doing drugs or running around doing, running with the wrong crowd, doing bad things. So we're working to avoid that and build up kids that can earn good income and support their family. So basketsandbeadskenya.org is where you can go to find that. If you are interested in checking out the website, we're adding more products and updating photos every day. basketsandbeadskenya.com, go check those out. We keep adding new things here and there. And I think the last thing I added was this really creative, I called it creative colors of our Starship paper bead necklace. And the color schemes in that are really nice, subdued kind of shade that'll go with almost anything. So go check those out. Check out our purse sale. Purses are, we have our large purses. The price is really deeply discounted because we're moving those out, and we'd love for you to take advantage of that sale so we can reinvest those funds into getting more products. I have some more products that I need to get back from Kenya. So those will be shipping soon, and I'll be adding more products. All right, everybody, this week on B&B Live, the rest of the month on B&B Live, it's going to be Vanessa and I, and we will share some more products with you and some more updates, and we will see you soon. Nakupenda.